The glamour, the colour and the heady excitement of speed and noise bring the aficionados and the jet set to the Principality in their thousands to savour a unique spectacle. 600 horsepower manned projectiles blasting through the streets and the tunnel, past the casino, the nightclubs, the yachts and the apartments at up to 160 miles an hour. In the important Constructors' Championship, after 4 Grand Prix, Ferrari lead McLaren by a single point, with Renault and Brabham close behind. And in the Drivers' Championship, Piquet and Prost tie for the lead, 1 point ahead of Tombay, with John Watson 4th, Lauda 5th and Arnoux 6th. Even though the weather's sadly wet and the course slippery, everyone's hoping today's race will be as exciting as last year's, when the lead dramatically changed 5 times in the last 3 laps. Prost, he is now on his way to his 6th Grand Prix victory in 2 years. And there goes Prost, off!
Well, Riccardo Patrese now has all the pressure off, only has to cruise around the finish, and he's sliding and he's lost it! Dear. Can he keep the engine running? Because he can still win the race if he can just get the car going again.
Is that Peroni stationary? It is! My goodness! The 3rd leader in 2 laps!
He must have run out of petrol.
And that is De Cesaris' car. But De Cesaris would have taken the lead. Riccardo Patrese comes up to the line to win his first Grand Prix despite having spun off. Here today at Monaco, Riccardo Patrese is in only 17th place on the grid out of the 20 drivers who start here instead of the usual 26. Because of rain in yesterday's critical final practice, Watson and Lauda sensationally failed to qualify. Fastest on the grid, it's Alain Prost ahead of Arnoux, Chiva and Tombay, with world champion Keke Rosberg 5th and the quickest non-turbo car driver in spite of feeling ill with a virus infection. Then it's Piquet, De Cesaris, Lafitte, Jarier and Warwick 10th, with Nigel Mansell 14th. That is the pole position holder, faster than the lap record in the new RE40 Renault, Alain Prost, who led the race from lap 12 to lap 74 last year. René Arnoux' car, no René Arnoux, yes, there he is, not yet with his helmet on, 2nd fastest, led the race last year, he's on slick tyres, and his adversary is Alain Prost, who he desperately wants to beat. The young American, 25-year-old Eddie Chiva, driving for the Renault team this year, slick tyres on his car, and currently only he and Alain Prost are so equipped, and Chiva was a superb 3rd fastest in practice, just outside the lap record. That is the car of San Marino Grand Prix winner, and there he is, Patrick Tombay, who won his 2nd Grand Prix at San Marino. He's 4th fastest on the grid, and currently his Ferrari, and this is very important, is on slick tyres. Are they going to change them? Keke Rosberg, the reigning world champion, who is not yet, as you see in his car, there he is with Frank Williams. Keke Rosberg, 5th fastest on the grid, the fastest non-turbocharged car, but he was fastest in the wet practice yesterday, and that could be very significant. And with 2 minutes to go, the slick tyres that were on René Arnoux' car, and he's 2nd on the grid, are significantly being changed to wet weather tyres. And they're going round in the course car, ex-world champion Jackie Stewart with film star Roger Moore. Now, the first corner at Saint-Devote is always the most critical in the Monaco Grand Prix. We hope and pray that everybody gets round it safely. They haven't in the past, and it's going to be especially difficult this year, with Prost on the left in pole position, René Arnoux desperately anxious to win this race, as is Prost, and both of them desperately anxious to beat the other. Let us see then. Watch for the green. Prost away well, and Chiva, and Rosberg, magnificent. Rosberg up into 2nd place. It's in the lead. Prost, Rosberg with a flyer at the start is in 2nd position. In 3rd position is Eddie Chiva. In 4th position is Patrick Tombay. In 6th position it is De Cesaris has gone up ahead of Arnoux. So a terrible start for René Arnoux, a brilliant start for Keke Rosberg, and the Finn is really charged up. See him now as they come down past the Hotel Metropole, and he's trying to get right up alongside the leader, Prost.
Fantastic start by Keke Rosberg. He was the first non-turbocharged car on the grid. In 5th or 6th place, he came right through, got the power on the road, as everybody sat there with their wheels spinning because these cars were 600 horsepower going onto a wet track. And I noticed that Rosberg appears to be on slick tyres, on dry weather tyres, which could be a very significant decision because it's not raining now, the track is only greasy, and the slick tyres work all right.
And it is Prost leading in the RE40 Renault, the man who won the French Grand Prix from world champion Keke Rosberg, whose points for Brazil were disallowed. Third is Chiva. Fourth is Arnoux, is up into 4th position. In 5th position it is Colbert, and they complete the first lap in... Rosberg is through! Rosberg is through! And Chiva is in 3rd position ahead of René Arnoux. And look at Arnoux charging through into 3rd position past the Renault. And what a race this is already. 3rd is Chiva. The blue flags are waving. Why is that? That means move over, and De Cesaris is in 7th position. Meantime, Eddie Chiva is 3rd, René Arnoux is 4th. In 5th position, it is Patrick Tambay. In 6th position, it is De Cesaris. So, Renault, Ferrari, down they come past the Hotel Metropole. Don't forget, this is the battle for 3rd, and ahead of both of them are Rosberg and Prost.
Yeah, that looks like Nigel Mansell's car. He can't see what's happened. The car looks relatively undamaged, but Nigel Mansell obviously out of the race. They're going to jack it up, put it on the crane and get the car off the track. But Keke Rosberg looks, honestly, at this stage, and you can't say it this early in the Grand Prix normally, but he really looks as if he's only got to stand up to win now.
Yes, Keke Rosberg is now 4 seconds ahead of Alain Prost in 2nd place. And with that gap developing behind the 2nd place man, Prost, who is in the yellow car going round the hairpin there, Chiva and Arnoux are absolutely wheel to wheel. So watch for them. And Arnoux, as I talk to you, is up into 3rd position.
That was very interesting. I don't know whether you noticed, but Keke Rosberg going down into the Mirabeau corner then went right down the inside line, which is not the obvious line to go on, but he would in that case be searching for grip, because on the normal racing line there will be a lot of rubber and oil down, and add a bit of rain to that and it makes it very slippery, and sometimes it's quicker to take the wrong line and get more grip. So he was searching for the grippiest bit of track.
And there's Prost in 2nd place, and the gap between the leader, Rosberg, and Prost is now 5.6 seconds. So, whichever tyres they're on, definitely with Arnoux there in 3rd position, Keke Rosberg driving absolutely superbly, surely never better. Here he is coming up to complete his 4th lap in this 76 lap race. He's pulling away, totally unexpected, from Alain Prost. And in 3rd position now, it's René Arnoux. In 4th position, it is Chiva. The gap is increasing. There is Rosberg, 5.7 seconds now, as he goes up the hill towards... And that, number 26 off there, is Raoul Vassell out of the race, the Frenchman in the Legion. Lap 6, and Keke Rosberg on dry tyres is leading by 12 seconds from Alain Prost. There is the battle for 3rd between René Arnoux and Jacques Lafitte, who has charged up through the field. In 5th position now, it is Eddie Chiva, and in 6th position, going magnificently, is Marc Zura. Marc Zura is coming up. No, it's Patrick Tambay now in 6th position. So there is the battle for 3rd. And as I say again, on lap 6, there is Jacques Lafitte challenging René Arnoux as they come down to the right-hand at the Mirabeau.
Yeah, well, I think it's only a matter of time before Lafitte gets him, and it really does look very much like a Williams 1-2. They've only got to take it easy. If Ricardo Patrese in the pits, he's gone on to dry tyres, but the mistake and the bad decision's already been, and there is René Arnoux having some sort of a drama, and he has, it looked like he damaged his wheel on the curb, or damaged the rim. He's knocked the tyre off the rim, he's on a puncture, and he's going to have to limp round to the pits and hope that that tyre doesn't come apart and damage his rear suspension or wing, because when you drive around at speed, the tyre has a tendency to fly apart. Anyway, Arnoux goes out of 3rd place. That moves Lafitte up into 3rd. He is now chasing Alain Prost, who will have to make a pit stop.
Alain Prost goes by Arnoux. There goes the inside. The inner half of Arnoux' wheel is off altogether as he limps round the swimming pool, and they're surging past him, and amongst them there is Derek Warwick. And Derek Warwick is now in ninth position with the Coleman, and Arnoux is fighting to control his car. This is almost exactly where he went off last year in the Renault. He's coming out of the swimming pool and down to the rat can. How much longer is that left rear tyre going to stay on the remains of the wheel? And he's left metal on the surface of the course, and it looks to me as though René Arnoux is just going to manage to limp back to the pit.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of time, and as you probably saw, there were bits and pieces coming off his car all the way around, and his front suspension is damaged by the look of it. Yeah, René Arnoux, unfortunately, that's the problem when you get a puncture. It does a lot of damage in the car, and he seems to have stalled his engine, so it looks like René Arnoux' day is gone.
Well, as James says, it looks as though the suspension is damaged, and the bottom and the back of the car will have been dragging along the ground. And now Jacques Lafitte is in second position. So, on this auspicious 8th lap out of 76, Keke Rosberg leads his teammate. The two Tag Williams cars with their Ford Cosworth engines are in first and second position. Nobody expected that to happen. Prost has been into the pits. Alain Prost, unseen by you, seen by us, has gone into the pits and changed to dry tyres on lap 8. And that means to say then that the Williams cars have got every chance of continuing in their first and second places to the end of the race. And it is Ford Cosworth powered cars completely against expectations, not just in first and second places, but in third position as well. And there, in fourth position, rounding the hairpin, is Derek Warwick. Derek Warwick, who had the most dreadful luck in practice with any kind of trouble and even blew a turbo in the warm-up half hour today, is in fourth position, and he is driving on a new type of tyre construction in fourth position. The turbo is seemingly going well. Behind him in fifth position is on the road and in the race. You can see now Alain Prost and then Nelson Piquet. So there is Warwick, there is the fifth place man Prost, and behind him is Nelson Piquet in sixth position. So this is the battle for fourth position that you're looking at. Warwick, Prost, Piquet, fourth, fifth, sixth, Tolman, Renault and Brabham.
Yeah, and that is De Cesaris into the pits. Let's have a look, see if he... No, and that looks like the end of his day's work. He's getting out and shutting up shop.
Lap 17 then, and as Prost tries to take Derek Warwick at Sandervoort again and fails, it is Keke Rosberg leading. It is Jacques Lafitte in second position. Third position, Mark Fura. There you see the confirmation of fourth, fifth and sixth, and what you may say it happened to Patrick Tambay. The answer is that Patrick Tambay has been in to change his tyres and is on lap 18 in 11th position. Into the tunnel. Warwick pulling away at Piquet, going through and taking Prost. Is he on the inside line of the tunnel? That's fantastic. Piquet has taken Alain Prost and fifth position.
And I think Prost must be in some sort of trouble because he slowed down a bit, and Eddie Cheever's right up behind him, the teammate there. He'll probably let him through. Well, he wasn't that friendly to his teammate, but there's definitely something wrong with Prost's car. It's not outwardly visible, but he slowed right up.
Coming up behind Eddie Cheever is Keke Rosberg, who is very shortly going to be catching. He's going to have it. And there's Cheever through. Cheever is through into sixth position on lap 28, and Alain Prost is out of the World Championship points, which means to say that now Nelson Piquet is leading the World Championship. That is, of course, if he finishes in the top 6 and Alain Prost does not. Watch this again as Piquet, there goes Piquet through, and here on the right is Eddie Cheever passing Alain Prost on the outside, and that proves that there is something wrong with Alain Prost's car for Eddie Cheever to be able to surge past him as he did. Good a driver as Eddie Cheever is, and he's improving all the time. Jacques Lafitte, the Frenchman, there he is 45 seconds ahead of a magnificently charging Marc Surer in the Arrows. And there is the battle for 4th, 5th and 6th. Derek Warwick is still 4th, Nelson Piquet is still 5th, and Eddie Cheever is still 6th. And Cheever's in trouble. Cheever on this lap, which is lap 32, puts up his hand, and Alain Prost surges past back into 6th position and back into the World Championship points. Eddie Cheever suddenly puts his hand up, which indicates that the power has gone, and his Renault is out of the race on lap 32. Marc Surer, Arrows, Derek Warwick, Tolman, Nelson Piquet, Brabham BMW. 2 turbocharged cars, the Tolman and the Brabham, chasing this one, the Ford Cosworth-powered Arrows of Marc Surer, who really does deserve not a better car than the Arrows, because the Arrows is a supercar. He needs a bit more power. That means a turbo. That means more money. And that's the problem for the Arrows team at the moment. But you wouldn't think it was too much of a problem from the way Marc Surer in 3rd position on lap 45 out of 76 is driving, with Derek Warwick in his mirrors, and Warwick in 4th place has got Piquet in his mirrors. Keke Rosberg is still leading. The lead that Keke Rosberg has over Lafitte is diminishing. It's down from 33 seconds to 23 seconds. So is Keke Rosberg fading on lap 45? And is Warwick going to get past Surer on lap 45? There is the race leader, Keke Rosberg. Now, he's been going to bed at 9 o'clock every night here. He has been resting between practices. He's had a virus infection. He was very weak, and there you see his head rolling about. Rosberg is obviously very tired. I wish they'd take a picture of him without his dark glasses. He looks much better than that in real life. And there is the battle for 3rd position. Not the green car of Danny Sullivan. There, 29 is Marc Surer. They're coming through to complete lap 50 out of 25. And Surer, Warwick and Piquet are absolutely together. And there is Prost in 6th position. Now, Danny Sullivan, who is in 9th position, 1 lap behind. And there goes Surer. Surer off. Piquet through and Warwick off. And Piquet is through into 3rd position. Warwick reversing. Is his car damaged? No, he's just spun. He's just spun.
That's a terrible tragedy for Derek Warwick, because Surer made a mistake there, and he unfortunately included Derek Warwick in it, who was minding his own business, challenging for 3rd place, and Warwick has lost ground. Let's hope that his car is undamaged and that he can set off after Prost and Piquet, to whom he lost ground then. Right, ignore the green car. Now we see Danny Sullivan in the green car, and there's Marc Surer behind. They brake slightly around a corner as they go into the Sandoval corner. They're past the pit exit there. And Warwick was challenging a bit, or did they make... No, they made contact. I take that back. I'm entirely wrong. Marc Surer and Derek Warwick made contact, and that was not a mistake on his own by Marc Surer. So apologies to Marc Surer. And it was difficult to tell exactly who did what to who. It's just extremely crowded there, and they both had a spin, and that was the result. Perhaps
Derek Warwick braked a little late, but anyway, Marc Surer tragically out of the race from third position, which it promotes Nelson Piquet in the Brabham BMW to third position, with Alain Prost right behind him in fourth position, with Patrese now in fifth position, with Patrick Tambay in sixth position, and there is the battle between now Nelson Piquet third and Alain Prost fourth, with Danny Sullivan, the American driver, in his first Monaco Grand Prix. He has driven at Monaco before in a Formula 3 race, and the two behind him are coming up to complete their 52nd lap, and so now Piquet has got ahead of Sullivan and Prost has not. And Derek Warwick, who was in fourth position for so long, has come into the pits and is out of the race effectively. I mean, he may rejoin if he hasn't had something that can't be put right, but he's out of the race from the point of view of finishing in the points. Rotten luck. We're looking back down the course now to see Jacques Lafitte, the Frenchman who transferred his allegiance from the French Ligier team at the end of 1982, come out of the tunnel, and he is passed. Jacques Lafitte is slowing. So, Jacques Lafitte, it's not Keke Rosberg increasing his speed, it is Jacques Lafitte slowing down, because Jacques Lafitte seems to be stopping and has been passed by the Euro Alfa Romeo of either De Cesare. It was Baldi. De Cesaris is out of the race. Mauro Baldi. Now, is Jacques Lafitte coming into the pits? Yes, on lap 55, Jacques Lafitte comes into the pits. Out of the race, Jacques Lafitte in second place, having held that second place virtually through the race, retires. Bad, awful luck on lap 55. And now that means to say that Nelson Piquet is in second position. Up into third place comes Prost. Up into fourth place comes Patrese. Up into fifth place comes Tambay. And up into sixth position comes Danny Sullivan, a lap adrift.
And Patrick Tambay has just got past Riccardo Patrese. They've lost a little bit of time. And so quite a significant step for Tambay. He now has Prost in his sights, but he is fully now 15 seconds behind Prost. So I think Patrese was in a bit of trouble, holding him up.
Patrese into the pits, and as we look at Riccardo Patrese, who was in fifth position, Patrick Tambay, charging hard, number 27 in fourth place, is carrying the number of Gilles Villeneuve, who won here in 1981 and was so tragically killed in practice for the Belgian Grand Prix last year. Rosberg crosses the line, 69 laps completed, and with Piquet in second position, 3 seconds ahead of Prost, who is third, who is 20 seconds ahead of Tambay, who is fourth, and then Danny Sullivan 2 laps behind the leader in fifth position, Mauro Baldi in sixth place, Chico Serra seventh, and now Rosberg, thanks to his own driving efforts and those of his team, is very shortly going to be starting his 76th and last race on his way to the second victory in his career, in a situation where this is only the second Monaco Grand Prix he has driven. Last year was his first, and for a variety of reasons he was never able to qualify in inferior cars. He gets the signal now. Watch out, goes the official. 1 lap to go, he says. He holds up the finger. So between Keke Rosberg and his second Grand Prix win in his career, there is now less than 2 miles as he climbs the hill and goes round Massenet, the left-hander, as he goes round Casino Square, as he swings right and lets the tail swing out a bit, as he drops now down past the tip-top, round the right-hander at the Mirabeau in second gear, down to the slowest corner on the course, 30 miles an hour. There is now less than a mile between this point and Keke Rosberg's win after the finest drive in this race, without a doubt. He's round the Portier. He is through the tunnel. He is now doing 150 miles an hour, watching the rev counter, watching the braking, watching the placing, into the chicane, left, right, on his way to the swimming pool. Left. Now he takes, after that left-hander, the right-hander. He's doing 80 miles an hour. Now the second right at the swimming pool, 60 miles an hour. He changes up into third gear. He's up to the Raskas for the second time. And Sir Keke Rosberg, as he is in Finland, gets the cheers of the crowd. And after a superb race, the Williams team waves the Union Jack. And Keke Rosberg, with the Saudi flag waving as well, takes the checkered flag and a magnificent victory. Victory in the Monaco Grand Prix for Keke Rosberg, and second Nelson Piquet, third Alain Prost, fourth Patrick Tambay, fifth Danny Sullivan, sixth Mauro Baldi. Tag Williams wins, Brabham second, Renault third, Ferrari fourth, Tyrrell fifth, and Euro Alpha in sixth position. And that means to say that in the Drivers' World Championship, Nelson Piquet now leads with 21 points from Prost with 19. Third, Tambay with 17, and fourth, Rosberg with 14. In fifth position, John Watson with 11, and sixth, Niki Lauda with 10 points. And in the manufacturers, the Constructors' World Championship, Ferrari lead Renault by a mere 2 points. Third, equal with 21 points, Williams and Brabham and McLaren. And in sixth position, Arrows with 4 points.
Monte Carlo is basically always a difficult race. Even with our blisters in your hands, it takes everything you have.
Keke, you've mentioned blisters on your hands. Will you show the camera your hand? Now, were you driving with gloves, of course?
Yeah, sure. But the problem is I have a lot of kickback from the steering. I knew this was going to happen. There was nothing we could do about it. But last 30 laps, it sort of reminds you of the cruel world outside, when every time the steering wheel kicks you on the hands.
You said after San Marino it had been a very boring race. I'm sure this one wasn't.
No, it definitely wasn't a boring race. Jacques was keeping me on my toes, although I had a good cushion on him, but I knew he was on different tyres than I was for his own decision, and therefore he was on a harder compound, so I knew at the end of the race will be the deciding moment, so therefore I had to keep on going and get the cushion big enough. And maybe then the team will finally give me some support and say, okay, you stay in the front and he's second. Which I don't think they ever did, at least I didn't understand, so I had to do it on my own.
9 points in the World Championship has moved you up the ladder. What about that, and what about Brazil?
I think championship without the Brazilian points is going to be so difficult. Unfortunately, I wish I had the Brazilian points, so I'm very sad about it. I just going to have to take still race by race and see how it goes. Spa is going to be a very difficult qualifying and a very good race again for us. My car is very quick there. I think I'm quick in Spa. So I'm looking forward to it, but qualifying is going to be a disappointment again.
So join us again next Sunday for the Belgian Grand Prix and Grand Prix itself.